do national service. Now, I was working in Israel a couple of years ago, and this was the problem that a lot of the coaches had, is that they work with their athletes and they build them up to the level where they go into the transition of under 23, but that's their national service, and they have to do that. So they lose them. They lose the contact.
They lose them to the army. And
to the army, and then they have to restart again and reboot it all over again. So this is the
hopefully he's finished.
They have a gap. They do have a gap.
What age do they finish? Or?
I think it's round about the 23 mark, but it's something like 3 years that they have. And yes, they do train and they are very fit, but they do lose contact with their personal coaches and their clubs. So they lose that identity. And
it's quite hard to come back.
It is. It's very, and
like
coaches are very frustrated with that. But there is ways of communicating and keeping the rapport with them as an athlete. There's obviously, we have internet now, and there's this big thing of internet sort of training and programming and things like this, so you can keep all that going and the rapport that you have as an athlete. But obviously it's not the same as a day-to-day face-to-face
and doing what you need to do with your coach personally as well.
Yeah, the personal interaction is something that's missing for some of these athletes.
In judo, personal coach is probably your best friend when it comes to judo, because he knows what you do or she knows what you do every day, day in, day out. And when you lose that for 3 years, it's quite hard to come back at any level.
It's difficult because you do miss that. If you rely on that heavily, then it's a major disruption in your preparation for any event, isn't it? When you lose your personal coach and your personal identity of your club. And there is that sort of club that does play a major part. And yes, clubs you can outgrow on the mat, but you don't outgrow your club coach and contact. But you can outgrow your club as far as your performance in the randori, and you need to go internationally to get that performance. But you don't lose your identity as a person of your club, and that's really important.
It's a good match, tight.
Very,
Still
very
don't know
close.
Which way he's going to go yet? One of the surprising results today was the Israeli 73s.
Oh, yeah.
Ranked #1. Come back from, if I'm right, Belarus, last World Cup.
Yeah.
Won it.
And how is it? I didn't actually get to see that much, so all right. Oh, Muki, Sagi, yeah.
He won the last World Cup. Don't know what it is. I think it was. But yeah. Today, the Czech boy beat him, stole it from him straight away, first 15 seconds. That's what judo does.
But then the Czech is very, very strong indeed. So it was a very tough draw, and looking at it now, when you look at Katsumi, again, a strong lad, the Italian, Maloney, strong again. So you just think in the first 4, you've got 3 really strong athletes in there.
And that would be under the 73s category.
Very, very tough draw that was indeed for Muki. But sometimes there's got to be in your preparation, it's your peaking phase, isn't it? It's what you're actually training for and what you want to peak for.
100%.
And maybe it's not this he wants to peak for, it's maybe another one of the Grand Slams which is coming up, and there's quite a few in Asia that's coming up quite shortly. So maybe that's his target.
Hopefully. It's hard to peak, but some are so good, they just use it for training tournaments.
And some of these training tournaments are just so strong.
Yes.
So strong, because I think everybody seems to have the same idea. And the problem is now it's the world ranking. You have to fight to get your world ranking. If you don't have a world ranking, you can be just thrown in the pot. You can get anybody. It's just, it's 100%. The luck, isn't it, of what you draw.
That's the problem we have with, I think, 90s, Fraser and Jürgen. first fight.
Yeah.
2 Brits, first fight.
2 Brits.
Haven't really gone to much ranking tournaments. First fight in their
And it's the luck of the draw.
their
That's
own
all it's
country.
down to. So Van Gansbeke dominating this match with 1 minute and 23 seconds left. A real battle for grips here and trying the domination there. Another drop, but not as convincing there. A little bit of a panic there, I think.
1 minute left.
So Shido being awarded on a very poor attack there, so that's 1 Shido each. But 1 minute left in this match. With a Yuko on the board for Belgium, Van Gansbeke. And again, he's under pressure now. He's leading with a Yuko, and he's really now dropping very poorly, and he's going to pick up another Shido here. So that's 2. We're still just under a minute left.
It's really hard in this kind of situation. Been in it many times. Tried to keep, but like I said already, the French are really good at it. Trying to control and manage a fight.
Without looking negative.
Without looking negative. Just doing enough what you need to do to look that one step positive than your opponent.
And it
really
is an
important.
art on its own, isn't it? It is something you have to train.
Definitely.
You have to really know how much you can do without threatening your position. And Van Gansbeke looking for the knee wazzer, and as he knows the seconds are ticking away, and that's the best place for him to be, really. His knee wazzer is superb. He has really good awareness down in the ground, so it'll be a comfortable position for him. For Flicker, he really has to now get that score back. He can't really rely on the Shidos. So with 8 seconds left, and it's looking like Belgium will take the 2nd bronze medal in this men's 66 kilo category.
He's running towards him. It's going to be a risky throw. No.
What makes me, it frustrates me when you think seconds on the board and then they decide to just pick up the pace and go for it. Why don't you do that, sort of giving yourself a real chance? If you're going to all or nothing, if it's an all or nothing situation, you're losing, you might as well do it within the minute, giving yourself a 100%. Real chance. Because that seconds, if you've got that much energy left, why didn't you do it earlier? I can understand if you're really flopping to the end and you've given 100%.
I think at the same time he's got 1 Shido, and you just don't want to risk of trying to